And again, this is dedicated to him. We've got a special guest in the studio with us today. We're joined by JJ from Irish Nights. JJ, welcome.
Hello, welcome.
How are you? So, right, we've had a lot of questions for you.
Grand.
You know, it's good to have you here, actually.
It's good to be here.
You know, because we're always shouting about each other's podcast.
We are indeed.
Backwards and forwards. And obviously, as you said on your last podcast on Irish Nights, that we were going to do this.
Yeah.
You know, and because Ash was a good friend to both shows.
He was.
We thought we'd do one. I think we could make this a regular thing, you know.
Well, it'd be good.
It'd be good if we could, you know what I mean? Right, a lot to go through today, a lot of questions. Some on Irish Nights, because some of our listeners don't know what it is, and I hope JJ don't get offended by that. But
No, I have no offence. I like questions.
Right. First of all, off the top of my head, a lot of our questions today, JJ, are going to be off the top of my head, and you know, because obviously we've been inundated with questions.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of our questions are basically, what is Irish Nights, and what was the basis of you coming about?
Okay, Irish Nights. It was originally started not just aiming at the Irish community, but they were highly sort of on my mind for the show. There's a couple of newspapers around Birmingham which are tailored towards the Irish community. Things like events, what's going on back home in Ireland for those who don't know. So I was looking at the online sort of equivalent.
And there was absolutely... Well, there has been nothing, has there? I mean...
No, there's not really much in... I mean, like radio stations, you don't get much in the way of an Irish radio show with Irish news. Unless you live in Ireland, of course.
Exactly, unless... Well, with both of us being Irish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, me and you, for our listeners, we are going to get into technology. We're just covering some questions that we've had about Irish Nights, but both of us being from an Irish family.
Yeah.
You know, mine primarily Southern Ireland.
Same with myself.
Kilkenny and, well, my original family name, actually, researching my family tree, is Gargan. My second cousin, according to my research, is Daniel O'Donnell.
No, that's great.
So
we'll have to see if we can get him on.
we'll have to see if we can get him on. But so basically, you set up Irish Nights to sort of deal with various questions, obviously, that you were getting to.
Yeah, it was just to reach out to the Irish community, not just in Birmingham, but around the world. A lot of people around the world don't really get to hear too much about what's going on back home. And I thought, hey, why don't we give this a try? And you know,
I mean, you know, a lot of, obviously, we're here at PCTechRadio, we're technology based, as you know, and I mean, you're an avid listener to our show.
I listen to the show.
Same as to you. I mean, you know, but as we said at the top of the show, Ash was a good friend to both our shows, and obviously, you know, we're going to miss him greatly. And that was our opening track was Bryan Adams' Heaven, which was put on to. You were saying to me before we started recording that was something that his brother had done for his funeral, which was
his nieces and nephews have recorded their own version of Heaven. So I'll get you a copy of the track if you want to play it. Yes, really good recording. You know, it's a brilliant song, and it was one of Ash's favourite songs.
Yeah, you know, I mean, obviously he'll be sadly missed by both of us. I mean, you know, because he was always there, as you said on your dedication to him. You know, he was a moral support for both of us, and you know, we could always go and he'd tell us straight. You know, he wouldn't mince his words. You know, I mean, he would be the first one to kick us in our arse and basically say, "Look, what the hell are you playing at? Just don't stop talking about it and do it."
Yeah.
You know, and he said that to both of us. Now, obviously, we PCTechRadio and yourself at Irish Nights, we both did our dedication shows, so we thought we'd do this joint one together because, as we've stated several times now, Ash was a very good friend.
He was.
And you know, we will miss him. So Ash, wherever you are,
rest in peace.
Rest in peace, and don't laugh at us too much when we're doing this.
No.
Well, we know what his sense of humour was like.
That's it, yeah.
So, Irish Nights, I mean, obviously it's completely different to what we do here at PCTechRadio.
It is, yeah.
What is the basic? Well, you've explained the basis of it and why you came about and why you did it. One of the questions we've had, off a few of our listeners, where is Mossy? He appears in the first 2 episodes and disappears.
Mossy
we've had about 17 emails. In big bold capital letters saying, "Where is he? We want him back."
For those of you who want to know where Mossy is, he's about 5 foot under the back of the garden. No, not really. He's it's just what I try and do is I try and do my my show on a Sunday, and Moss, he's a working man, works Monday to Friday, same as myself, and Saturday and Sunday are his 2 days that he gets to sort of do stuff,
chill out and relax,
get his shopping done, any bits and pieces around the house. And it's kind of like when he's available, I'm not, and vice versa.
It's the same with me and Vishal here at PCTechRadio. I mean, we sometimes we say that we're going to do a show, and we can't, and we have to adjust it for a different. So it's the same situation. That
it is, So, but the way I've looked at it is, if we can't be both available at the same time, the show must still go on. We've got listeners.
So. Within Irish Nights, what do you cover? I mean, I know you cover the news of what's going on back home in Ireland and...
the news and sports back home in Ireland, things like the lottery. We cover, like, what I do is a recipe of the week. Primarily that was just an Irish recipe, but bits of feedbacks from listeners.
They want more...
They want more variety.
More variety.
A lot of the stuff I'm doing, a lot of people think, well, I wouldn't know how to do that. To tell me something I don't know. So, so I've mixed it up a bit. I mean,
on the last show, sorry to interrupt you there, JJ. On the last show, you introduced Geekly Weekly. Now, what's that? Is that wide variety of technology, or is that
Geekly Weekly? Is it's me being a bit of a geek. I'm into many things like movies, games, reading. Technology. So what I'm doing is I've just introduced a bit of a review section to the show. So every week I review a game, like a computer game, a movie, a book, a piece of technology, and a music album.
It brings variety to the show, doesn't it? I mean, with us, we play our music and we discuss technology. Well, we are primarily PC based, as you know. From listening to our show, and at the end of the day, there's so much you want to introduce to a show, but obviously you can't, and obviously we can't. It's very hard. How do you go about picking and choosing what you want to add to your show? This is one of the questions we've had as well.
Well, I get emails throughout the week, and there'll be things like on the show that I'm going to be doing this week, where I've got a section I'm going to cover on. The Aston Villa and Republic of Ireland footballer Stephen Ireland. Done a bit of research. I've actually contacted because what a lot of people don't know is he does a lot of charity work. And he's got the Stephen Ireland Foundation. So I've actually been in touch with the Stephen Ireland Foundation. They've got back to me and given me the green light. So a lot of it is people will sort of email in and say, "Oh, have you heard about this? Have you seen that?" And it's just sifting through it. And I mean, a lot of it, to be fair, it's stuff that I wouldn't cover because people email me with things like, and to be fair, it's kind of delving into politics.
You don't want to be that's dangerous.
It's stuff that it's going on back home, and you might not hear too much about it outside of the country.
And obviously, you don't want to be getting into that situation.
Politics is for politicians.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to sort of get into it because, being honest, I'm going to have a bit of a biased view. So,
but even though obviously we were born here in England,
but I wasn't.
Well, I wasn't either. A lot of people. I was born in Germany while my dad was serving in the army. But with both of us coming from an Irish family, obviously we have that strong connection. And to get involved in any aspect of the politics over there, it's murky water at the best of times.
It is.
I mean, I must admit, I did enjoy your show 10, The Pope's Visit. That was That you were touching a little.
Well,
You know, it was a little bit close, but I do agree with some of the stuff you said. I mean, the Pope, you know, obviously he's doing a good thing by, you know, but there's obviously certain controversies to the visit as well, which we won't go into.
No.
Because obviously that's for, again, the politicians.
Someone else's show.
Yeah. You know, if there's a political show out there that wants to cover that sort of thing, then go ahead. That's not for us.
Send us the link.
Yeah, and we'll listen. We'll even do an advert. Right, okay, guys. After this next song, we're going to go into the regular show. We've got a lot of things about PC World again, JJ.
Right.
So I don't know what your take is on PC World. I don't know whether you heard our PC World show. When we aired it, I think it was the one before last.
I don't think I've heard it all.
Right, I'll give you a bit of background to it. Okay, guys, we'll be back after this. This is Brian Adams and Summer 60. JJ's in the studio with us from Irish Nights.
Hello.
So, right, we're going to get straight into it now. We've had a few things about. We've started our MSN feed for the shows. Obviously, it's not on today.
Yeah.
Although we've advertised on the our Facebook group that it is, unfortunately we've had a technical hiccup and we can't sort of access it today. Well, we've had a technical hiccup all week with MSN, so it's caused a few problems, not many, but you know, just a few. Now, as I mentioned before the break, PC World, we did a show a while back, JJ. We had a lot of, when we first announced it, we had a lot of complaints and things about them, and their underhanded tactics of what they use to sell to customers. Because obviously, as we both know, working in the technology field, at PC World, on the desktops, Apple Macs and things that on the laptops themselves, they don't make any money.
No.
And they do make money on the peripherals and all that, so they sell you things that they're not meant to. Now, there was a couple of stories that we couldn't cover due to time restraints. We were very busy that day because we had to shoot off to a meeting. But what's your take on PC World personally? I mean, have you ever come across any of the issues that we brought up in that show?
Personally, I'll be honest, I've never shopped at PC World. When it comes to my technology, I'm not a big fan of what's known as big box companies.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather use the little guy who, he needs to make a bit of profit to live, but he doesn't need to sort of go all out and sort of extort you for money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, big box companies, I'm not a big fan of. When I'm buying technology.
Yeah, so you'd go to the independents. So like you go to the local computer fairs. And
computer fairs. I swear by them. I mean, they're cheap as well. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You get, so.
You know, I mean, it's one of those things nowadays. I mean, if anybody's out there looking to build a computer, I would always say computer fair straight off.
Computer fair.
Which brings us to our next point. Me and Vishal will be at the Nottingham Computer Fair on Sunday, which is just a day away. Thank God, I can't wait. I'm absolutely stoked that we're going because I need to actually replace my external hard drive before it gives up on me. But yeah, so obviously you go to the independents and for anything. Now, obviously you do computer repairs yourself.
I do,
as well as us here at PCTechRadio through our subsidiary company. What is the a couple of questions that we've had is, I mean, I think we can open it to both of us, I'd say. What is the strangest problem you've ever come across on a computer?
Strangest problem on a computer?
I know the weirdest one I've come across.
Okay, what was the weirdest one?
Well, I can put it to you. I'm just trying to figure out how to put it politically correct, so it were. Right. Basically, I had a phone call to say, can you come and have a look at my computer? There's something seriously wrong with it. Now, switch it on. Obviously, there's a slight hum from the fans hear. You can probably hear them on the mics in the studio, but you can hear the fans going. Now, you had like an alarm sound.
Yeah.
Really loud fan. I switched it on, and I started smelling not a nice smell.
Okay.
And it was sort of like stale sweat.
Nice.
Coming out of the computer. Now, this computer was a high-end gaming computer.
Yeah, not really known for smelly sweat.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I turned to the gentleman in question and said, "What were you doing before, you noticed you had a problem?" Do you know what it turned out to be?
What?
A mouse in the power supply.
A mouse
in the power supply.
Well,
that I found weird.
Yeah, I've seen the odd spider inside a computer.
Yeah.
Never a mouse.
That's what I mean. I couldn't figure it out. I mean, that's my weirdest one.
Yeah.
I know they have asked for the strangest one, but
the strangest one. I think the strangest issue I've ever been called for was PC that wouldn't power on, and I said to the woman, "Okay, I'll have a look." So first thing you do is your power supply comes into mind. Yeah. Well, it was a bit strange because there wasn't actually a power cable plugged into the back, and there wasn't actually a power cable plugged into the wall. Yet she swore blind that she had never plugged the power cable in. I was like,
okay.
Right, yeah. She said nothing had been removed. I was like, okay. And yeah, she just swore blind. Everything is there. I've never had a power cable, and it's worked fine. I was like, okay. So went to the car, power cable, plugged it in, computer turned on. And yeah, it was just very strange. It's like very. I suppose some people say, "Oh, that's really stupid," which you could say. Yeah. But I don't know what was going on there. It's she just swore blind to the minute I was leaving that there'd never been a power cable, and it always worked without one.
Okay, spooky.
So yeah,
never heard of anything like that before. But you live and learn in our field of work, so to speak, because obviously we come across so many technology issues, and I mean, one of the ones that always gets to us recently is obviously, as an avid listener of our show, you have heard our Firefox versus Internet Explorer show. Yeah. Now, we received an email from Chris in Birmingham. Okay. Says, are we going to be covering Microsoft Internet Explorer 9 versus Firefox 4? Now, Chris, yes, we are. We will be doing another Internet Explorer versus Firefox show for that. Firefox. Yeah.
Don't buy it, download it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, JJ is of the same mind of me and Vishal. Now, obviously, in our episode 3, we discussed at length, obviously, when you first buy a computer when we were younger, we stuck with Internet Explorer or Netscape because it was the norm.
It was there.
It was there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I discussed at length how I got into Firefox and everything. Now, what difficulties did you find with Internet Explorer?
First major difficulty I find is on my laptop. I'm running a pretty high spec laptop. I run Internet Explorer and I'm waiting about 30 to 45 seconds before anything's loaded. That's the first problem.
That's the speed, isn't it?
Yeah. I load Firefox, it's on within 5 seconds. I load Safari, it's on within 5 seconds. Internet Explorer, I can wait up to 45 seconds just to get... Now,
is that just to get the search page?
That's just to get the search page. Nothing fancy like the Star Wars web. Normally, I like to have a Star Wars website. I'm a bit of a Star Wars geek, but homepage StarWars.com. Yeah. Internet Explorer. I think I'll be there for 3 weeks waiting for that. 45 seconds just for the Google search page to come on the screen.
Blooming hell.
That's the first major issue I have.
Yeah.
Other issues is what I get quite a lot when I'm using Internet Explorer is you get the comes from the screen, the program will stop responding.
Yeah.
Do you want to search for a solution or restart? Okay, a lot of you restart, it puts you back pretty much where you were anyway.
Yeah.
But it's again you're waiting that up to 45 seconds for it.
A couple of times, I know me and Vishal mentioned in show 3 some of the security issues that Internet Explorer. Did you ever come across any major ones or any minor ones that caused you issues?
Yeah, pop-ups. Pop-ups were disabled, but I was still getting them.
Yeah. Did you ever? We didn't mention it in show 3, but I was tempted to, but I thought I better keep it sort of on a level and try and keep it, to be respectful. But what I noticed, and it only came to me the other day when I was thinking about what we're going to do for this show, and obviously this is going to be we're going to class this as a free-for-all show, because obviously we're going to be discussing a wide variety of stuff. One of the pop-ups that always used to come up, even when you disabled them, was porn with Internet Explorer. Always. Now, the one thing one of my good friends used to say to me was, "Well, you're visiting porn sites." Well, no, I'm not.
No, they're just turn up.
You can go to porn sites, right? And it's a case of, unless you actually enter the site, that's when it happens. That's how it was explained to me.
Unless you've got Internet Explorer, in which case it just happens.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the myths, but that's one of the things. And another thing that I came across, the security is just complete lax on it.
Yeah.
What's your take on the new one, Internet Explorer 9? What have you read anything about it, or?
I'm going to be honest. No, I love Microsoft. Don't get me wrong, but I don't love Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer 9, I'll be honest with you, to me, it could offer me a free Ferrari for downloading it, and I don't want it. For me, it's going to be Safari and Firefox. I've not read up too much on Explorer 9.
Yeah.
Reason being, because for every new feature that they've probably got,
Firefox has probably got something 10 times better.
But for every new feature on Explorer, there's probably going to be, for every one new feature, there's going to be one new problem.
Yeah.
And they're not going to advertise, well, you may have this problem, you may experience this. You just have to figure that out as you're going along.
It seems to be, since Microsoft were told they have to split the company, it seems to be the issue has got worse and worse with certain aspects of Internet Explorer. Do you reckon that's down to the fact that, as everybody, well, unless you're not aware out there, Microsoft hire, you were saying it's legitimate hackers, isn't it?
Yeah, ethical hackers.
Yeah, that's it.
They're paid to hack Microsoft. Ethical hacking is good because it helps companies to find out
flaws in their software.
We've got a flaw here, a security issue. We need to fix this up. But at the same time, you've got ethical hackers out there who will find certain faults and flaws, and they won't find others. And when they don't find the other set of flaws, it's normally those naughty people out there who do find it and then exploit the general public.
Exactly. It's like there used to be the old software NetBus, where you could send someone a random email with a patch on it, and you'd have full access to their system. You could download their entire hard drive, everything that.
That's it. You could, you could wipe their hard drive as well.
And then they'd switch the computer on. It'd be, well, okay. Yeah. Where's all my stuff? It's a case of, guys. At the end of the day, we've had a lot of emails about Internet Explorer 9, JJ, and the thing is, I will scream blue in the face and say Firefox all the way. Yeah. Because. For one, Firefox has never since I started using it and was introduced to Firefox through my best friend Phil. Who's sadly no longer with us, passed away a couple of years ago now. Because I still remember the day. I mean, I said to Vishal on one of our earlier shows, I went round to my mate Phil's, got my laptop with me, fucking Internet Explorer, yeah, you know, wanted to lob my laptop out the window, and Phil turned to me and goes, "What's wrong?" I went, "I can't, it's not allowing me to, you know, access the internet." And he went, "What the hell are you using Internet Explorer for?" I went, "Well, Netscape's no good anymore because obviously that became obsolete quite quickly." And he went, "You don't need Netscape either." I went, "Well, what else is there?" And he just went, "Have you tried Firefox?" I went, "Never heard of it." He installed it, and I'll tell you what, the speed that it loaded up on, oh my god. You know, I just couldn't, it was sort of like you blink, you miss it loading.
I like, I mean, there's a lot of like features with Firefox. I mean, there's a lot of plugins you can get for it. Add-ons. You know. Even themes. I've got a Boba Fett theme, so at the top of the screen. You've got Boba Fett and Slave One and Space. But it's great. You
know, I mean, and plus they've never shied away from accepting feedback from the customer either.
No.
This is the other thing that we brought up on show 3, I believe. They've never shied away from the feedback. So like if we said, "Oh, this app is absolutely no good. You know, it needs to be fixed," and all this. They will fix it, and they will listen to their customer. Whereas you do the same for Internet Explorer, that gets set by the wayside, and it's not fair.
No.
It's not fair to the. I mean, obviously, we've still got customers out there. I mean, between the two of us, that are still using Internet Explorer. I mean, I always say to the customers of our subsidiary company, you know, why are you using it? You know, what? It's not secure.
It's not. No.
They always say to me, "Oh, it's like I had a phone call last week." Just to give you an idea, and it was one of our regular customers, always done business with us. And he says, "I've got that bloody virus back again." I went, "What virus?" And he went, "That one that you got rid of last time." I went, "You're joking? How's it come back?" He goes, "I don't know." And I've gone round there, and it's actually come through Internet Explorer. I mean, this is what...
It's not the best of programs. I had a client, I said about a month ago, and she was with TalkTalk for her broadband. Couldn't access her emails at all. Like, you know, she couldn't access it through the TalkTalk website.
Right.
She couldn't access it through an external... I can't remember the name of the site, but it's one of these sites that are there for webmail, because that's what TalkTalk's email is webmail. Couldn't access it through there. What I did, I thought, okay, so this is a bit, you know...
Because that sounds a bit dubious, doesn't it?
It's like can't access the email. Password was correct. Everything was correct. So I installed Firefox onto her PC and went onto the TalkTalk homepage. Went into the email. Just straight in.
So what do you think? I mean, for me, that's an automatic Firefox issue. I mean, Explorer issue.
It's she. I couldn't tell you what was doing it, because I looked at the security settings and made them as optimal as you can get them on Internet Explorer. But it's just as soon as she put the password in and press submit, that was it. It would just freeze.
It's a random issue with Explorer. I mean, sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't. I mean, there is a lot of our listeners out there who, on a regular basis, use Internet Explorer and all that, and they've emailed the show and said they won't move away from it because they're so used to it. I mean, we're not getting at the fact that it's, you know, these people. We're not calling them idiots.
No. I mean,
you know, it's a case of. You know, you have to look at the options out there, and to be honest, when you go onto Mozilla's site, it says fast, secure, and reliable. And to me, it ticks all 3 boxes.
That's it, 3 out of 3.
You know, and they obviously, a few of the apps are a bit dubious because they're third party. You know they're third party because it actually states it. And before you install it, it says, you know.
Well, I think as soon as you start playing with apps generally, you've got to sort of be in that mindset that, okay, it's a third party app. but ultimately it's an app, it's an add-on,
or
it's a plug-in, and this is either going to work great, or there is that chance that this is going to be shocking, and I'm going to have to remove it. It's a chance you take with apps, but most of them, like you say, that there's no problem.
Yeah,
they work. They do what it says in the tin.
Yeah, exactly. One of the other emails we've had from one of our listeners, they're looking to buy the Deus Ex, the new game that's being released.
Okay,
I think I've pronounced it correct. Desusex. The game is called.
Yeah.
I think it's a first-person sort of RPG game. Now I haven't looked into it, but from a game, I'm going to lead into a gaming thing now. Are you World of Warcraft, or would you be strategy-wise Command and Conquer? Sort of.
Yeah.
Gamer.
Me. If I had to choose out of those, it'd probably be Command and Conquer.
So it'd be a strategy based.
Yeah, I mean World of Warcraft. I'm not really. I've done I've done the whole trial thing. I've given it a go. But to be fair, what I find with a lot of these online games,
you can't immerse yourself in it, can you?
Yeah, and they're all the same. Another one I played was the Lord of the Rings online.
I must admit, I did like it, but I found it to be tedious.
Yeah,
I found with World of Warcraft and Lord of the Rings, I found it to be very tedious.
Yeah, I found them to be pretty much identical, except the setting, the character names.
Yeah,
it just played exactly the same. One was like a bad rip-off of the other, you could say. The missions were very, very similar starting out in the game, and that's what puts me off a lot of online sort of gaming worlds where you have to try and get immersed. Because I often hear people, I spent 6 hours last night now in World of Warcraft. It's like, okay.
Okay,
great.
right.
Yeah, I spent 6 hours watching the TV. But it's I don't know. It's online gaming, it's great, but with me, it's particular types of games.
Yeah.
One game I am really excited and waiting for is the new Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars.
I've heard that this one's going to be absolutely. It's going to be graphics intense, isn't it?
BioWare are making it, so BioWare are a good gaming company.
So I think because they're aiming for the same release as the GTX 4s, aren't they?
Yeah.
And which is going to be, and looking at, I mean, we brought up the GTX 4s on our last show, I believe. Yep. And looking at the stats and the specs of the GTX 4s, it's going to be.
It's impressive, yeah.
Because they're making it more. They're going into the sort of realm of Command and Conquer now. They're making it more live action, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're mixing it. I think this is going to be the first. If I've seen the trailer right, this is going to be their first experiment.
Okay.
In mixing the live action with the actual gameplay, like Command and Conquer did.
Yeah.
And of course, with the graphics from the old game, I mean, I played the old game and completed it 4 times, and it was sort of like, because there's different. You can complete it one way, and then you find something else within the game, and then you can do it that way.
That's it. I love games like that. I mean, a lot of games now you can complete it good or bad.
Yeah.
And then there's some games like Bioshock 2. There's about 4 different endings for it.
Yeah.
Two sort of good, 2 bad, depending on how you play the game.
Have you played another Star Wars game called Force Unleashed?
Yep, I've played that, completed it.
What do you think of it?
It's amazing. The graphics were superb. The storyline was superb.
Because you can go either way, can't you? In that you can go to the dark side, or you can.
Yeah, that's right at the end. So what it is, you play the game all the way through, and it's when you get to the end, you either kill Darth Vader, or you don't kill Darth Vader and save the good guys. But you can choose right at the end whether you're going to be good or bad.
Because they're bringing out a new one of that as well, aren't they?
Yeah, Force Unleashed 2.
So that, I mean,
I've seen the trailer, so that looks very tasty.
The thing is, with a lot of these games, obviously, we're discussing these games now, and a lot of people are going, whoa, that sounds good. You know, I'm into my Star Wars games, or I'm into my Command and Conquer. What a lot of people have got to realise is these games are very, very graphic intense.
They are.
You have to have, I would say, not top end graphics card, but something that can handle it. I would say minimum 512, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because what I do, I mean, to be fair, a lot of my games I play on my Xbox 360.
Yeah.
What I'm in the process of doing now is coming up with a spec, because for the release of Knights of the Old Republic Online, I'm going to need a gaming machine, so I'm sort of building a gaming machine like at the moment.
Well, I mean, you've probably heard us mention on the on previous shows, you know, a Cashapp and manufacturers like that. I mean, my ultimate gaming machine, if I had the chance of building it, would be the two GTX 4 graphics cards running 2 gig each on SLI, so that you got 8 gig of graphics. 4 gig of graphics. I'd have 48 gig of RAM, because you can get the 16 gig sticks of DDR3. So I'd have 48 gigs worth of that. I'd have the new Asus motherboard with the i7 running at 2.96 gig. With two 1 terabyte hard drives. And I'd house it all in an Akasa case. You know, that's just me being over the top and overzealous, but.
For anyone that's listening, if you go ahead and build one of those computers, you will have a computer faster than the Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Because the i7 processor with like 48 gig of RAM, you're talking a lot of speed. I mean, literally, it's a case of you blink, you miss your computer booting up. It'll be. Because I was checking out the speed rates of the new DDR3 memory, the 16 gig sticks. With the i7 processor, you're talking a boot time of 10 seconds into Windows.
That's impressive.
That's like that's fast.
That's fantastic. You know,
and plus, as Vishal was saying to me the other day, because I didn't know this about the i7 processors, they are literally built for overclocking.
Yeah, they overclock themselves. What they tend to do is.
So is it automatic then, or because this is what I didn't understand when Vishal was explained it to me. Are they literally built to automatically overclock?
Yeah, all of the iRange. You've got the i3, the i5, the i7.
Yeah.
What they do, they're programmed that you start doing more processes on your computer, it overclocks automatically.
Right. To deal
keep
with
up
that.
Demand. Yeah. And then as soon as you start closing programs down, it reduces the clock speed back down.
So you don't have to manually overclock
with the iRange, they overclock automatically.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about them. Because the best CPUs for overclocking have always been AMD. So, but now with the iRange, as I say, they're automatically.
I think with the iRange, Intel have stepped up their game. A lot more than
they have. I actually like the way it automatically overclocks, because as I say, if you start doing more on your computer, it picks up on that, it overclocks it, and then it puts it right back down when you're doing less.
Yeah, exactly. So but again, these processors aren't cheap.
No.
I think the cheapest one I came across now is the i3, because obviously the i5 and i7 have been released. I think you can pick them up for £79 now.
Yeah.
But the i5 and the i7 is still, I think the cheapest you're going to get is 150, 160.
Yeah.
Depending on what speed you want it to be at.
Worth the money.
Yeah. But definitely.
I mean, as with technology, you leave out another few months and whatever something new.
Yeah, and it'll come down in price.
Yeah.
It's the same with the memory. I mean, DDR2 now you can pick up for next to nothing. Yeah. Plain and simple. Okay, guys, we're going to go into another song break. This one is another good one from the Breakfast Club movie with, if you're from the 80s, if you've grown up watching these sort of films, this is Simple Minds and Don't Forget About Me. Okay, we've got another question, which is, I'm looking to start a podcast. This is from Michael in Kidderminster. I'm looking to start a podcast, but I don't know where to begin. Help. This was an email we received for the last show, but obviously because it was a dedication to Ash, obviously we didn't want to sort of take away from that. So, I mean, you've seen our setup for the first time, JJ, today. Obviously coming in, doing the joint show, joint dedication show for Ash. I mean, we've got a bog standard PC, and I think the only extravagant is the software that we use and the mics and the mixer. But you do what Podcasting for Dummies call the budget.
Mine's all done on my laptop with internal mic.
I mean, if you talk through that, and then we'll advance it a bit to what we do here at PCTechRadio, then we can get a bit of maybe something in between for Michael.
That's it. It's like what I do is I've got a piece of software called Audacity, which is free to download. I've got the lame MP3 encoders, again, which is free to download. And what you do, with Audacity, it works on the basis of you've got a timeline. So you drop in what tracks you want, and then what I do is I pretty much use the built-in record facility on Audacity, and then because I've got the microphone built into the laptop, I talk, it comes out. The only thing I do find, which is a bit of a ball ache, is using an internal microphone. It picks up all the fans, which is a bit of a ball ache because I've got to try and
it's trying to get the filters right, isn't it?
And what always tends to happen is I always end up with like a little humming and whistling noise in the background when I'm talking. But what I'm looking at now is recording externally and then transferring that in as an MP3. Because as I say, I mean, getting started, depending on what your budget is, if you've got a laptop, you've got an internal microphone, and something like Audacity, it's all you need to get started. Ultimately, what I'm looking at aiming to do is more like what David's setup is. External microphones, a mixer, dedicated sort of computer to
record to. I mean, obviously we us here at Me and Visual have sort of put we've had a minimum budget, and obviously you know, first and foremost, guys, if you're ever going to start a podcast, please buy Podcasting for Dummies, because it's the most amazing set of books you can get. It will tell you so much about what you can do and you know, how to go about certain things. They're also available free as podcasts. I didn't realise this until a couple of weeks ago. I forgot to mention that to you actually, JJ. I do apologise.
There's David trying to big box company and sell me the
book. They are actually available as podcasts. But guys, you know, you don't have to have mega money to I mean,
no.
You know, I mean, I think altogether this setup has cost me and Vishal about 200-300 quid. And I think we use the trial version of the software that we've got, so we just reinstall it every time it pops up and says bang. We just we make sure we have our settings written down and everything. But obviously, I mean, the ultimate thing is, I mean, for PCTechRadio, obviously we're technology based. We cover PCs, we cover computers and all this. I know we've covered this a few times, guys, on previous shows, but with JJ, I mean, you obviously cover the Irish news, Irish music, Geekly Weekly. You do your reviews, your book reviews, and stuff like that. I mean, it all depends on what you want to do your podcast about. I would say, isn't it? That's what it ultimately comes down to.
That's the first thing you need is you're going to need your topic, another bit of information. Research your topic, not as in what you're going to talk about, but have a look on iTunes, on Podomatic, and just go into the category of where you're going to be entered and see who's doing something similar. Irish Nights is quite good because I haven't really got any competition.
You're in a niche. It's the same. It's the same. Unique. It's the same with us. I mean, we're quite unique because a lot of our competitors, yes, they cover computer technology, but they don't do that all the time.
No.
They cover a wide variety. They cover mobile phones. They cover PCs. They cover graphics cards. They cover a wide variety. Where we're locked in to your bog standard desktop and laptop and Mac.
Plus, a lot of them as well, with the a lot of the technology ones, never have user questions.
Yeah.
So you couldn't email those guys and say, "Help! I've got a problem." It's just you listen to the show and what they want to talk about.
Well, that's one of the things that me and Vishal sat down and we thought, you know what? Because we actually listened to a few of them.
Yeah.
Now, we're not going to mention which ones because I believe that's a bit unfair.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously they've been going it longer than we have.
Yeah.
And you are right, JJ. They don't answer their viewers' questions. They don't take on board or help.
Yeah, there's no interaction with the.
You know,
the
I mean, with Podomatic, obviously Podomatic isn't free.
No.
You do have. I can't remember if it's yearly or it's yearly, isn't it?
I've got a monthly package which is $9.99, which works out to £6.61 in English money. Yes, it's a monthly. I pay monthly by direct debit. You can do it yearly as well.
I think you can do it yearly and monthly, can't you?
Yeah,
you have
yearly
got that option.
Would work out. So I suppose if $9.99 a month is $6.61, so I suppose $99.
But that's not calendar month, people. That's every 4 weeks.
Yeah, every 4 weeks.
You know.
But yeah, so I do mine monthly. You can do it yearly.
Yeah.
But your monthly works out better for me. Plus, with monthly, you're not actually tied into a contract.
Yeah.
It's month by month. So
yearly, you are tied into the contract.
Well, you've paid for the year.
Yeah.
So you'd want to be, if you're going to get the yearly one, you want to make sure that you're 100% committed.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you're sort of testing the water, they give you the Pro, I believe it was free for my first month.
Yeah.
Then I had to pay. But yeah, so that's what I'd say is get the monthly one, see how you find it, and then because what I'm going to do is once I've got the cash, I'm actually going to just get a yearly subscription anyway.
Yeah, because
so
it works out better because also you get the upgrade of added space on their server as well to put more shows on.
Yeah.
Just a quick one. We're going to veer away for a second from podcasting because I have to answer this question from Chris in London. He says that, if I remember in his email, he said to us, to me and Vishal, this was, because we are producing an album of our shows.
Okay, yeah.
Which we thought was a good thing to sell in our shop. Because obviously, as you know, and you've heard, JJ, that we support the Mines Advisory Group, which are landmine clearance charity. Now, nobody's bought anything from the shop. We're not going to pressure anybody to buy our t-shirts, buy our merchandise. We've had a question, when are we going to produce the album now? We've had a slight issue with the album, Chris. What it is, we can't reduce the record sort of spec down.
Yeah.
So we have to put it to a DVD. So it is actually going to be an audio DVD, which will be on sale in our online store within the next month or so now, because we've had to extend the release date. And another question we've had is, when are we going to start video podcasting? Well, we're still waiting for the funding that we applied for, and we will be starting it once we've received the funding. So basically, guys, just bear with us just a little while longer and we'll get things going, we'll get the ball rolling for you. Now, back to podcasting. I mean, we were saying, you can operate on a shoestring budget, as it were.
You can, yeah.
Or you can spend a little bit of money and, buy your equipment and get it in.
And better quality then.
And it also improves the quality.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can probably hear in the background, we've got the window open and, cars are driving past today. But it's part and parcel of the excitement, shall we say, for...
Yeah.
I mean, how have you found it so far in recording? Do you get quite... I mean, a lot of questions we get is, do you get enjoyment out of it? I think it's a case of, if you put the work into it and then you see good results, and you think, wow, people are listening. Well,
that's what it is. What it is when I look at my stats for Irish Nights. In the past week, we've had about 144 new listeners to the show, and that's what makes it worthwhile. It's like you look at your stats and you think, okay, how many listeners have I got? And you go, oh, that's a lot. And then you look at how many more you get week on week.
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes it worthwhile. I get enjoyment from doing the shows, but just the fact that I know that I'm not just sat in the studio making a tit of myself.
Yeah, babbling on.
It's like there are people out there who that they listen to me. Irish Nights did go off the air for just over a month due to extra work commitments that I had going on. I was offered some extra sort of like work, and had to take it.
Well, it's either you take it or somebody else gets it. And with the economy nowadays, it's not very viable, as it were,
to be turning it down.
Not to be turning work down.
But now you see, I've got like every Sunday. I'm guaranteed I'm off every Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm going to be doing the shows. And
yeah, exactly.
I'd say it's like if you do go ahead and get like use Podomatic, first month you're going to get your stats and everything for free anyway. Yeah. But during that month you can look at how many people are listening to your show, and that gives you a lot of motivation.
Well, it's like I've shown you our thing. I mean, both of our shows are downloaded across America.
Yeah.
We're downloaded across the UK here at PCTechRadio, and I don't know what you're like for your UK audience.
Yeah, UK and Ireland audience is pretty impressive. I think but the majority of my audience is stateside.
Yeah. It's the same here. I mean, we've got our first 15 downloads in Las Vegas, of all places.
Yeah.
In a place where the hotels cost like $1,500 a night.
And those guys are probably taking bets right now as to how long this podcast is going to last.
Yeah, probably. Knowing my luck. That's what it's all down to. But I mean, at the end of the day, we have said, as long as it's a topic you enjoy doing, and as long as you don't push things too far, as in, I mean, it's okay having your own opinion on certain things.
That's it. Everyone has an opinion. But one thing I'd say for your starting a podcast is when you've got your topic, if it's going to be any form of like criticism to anyone or anything, just make sure you get in there. Look, this is my opinion.
Yeah,
it's what I think.
I mean, one of the things that I did do, and I don't regret doing it. I mean, it was when Louis Walsh basically had a go at Cheryl Cole on the X Factor and basically said she couldn't sing.
Yeah.
Now, that's not something you say to a recording artist who's already not confident about her singing voice anyway.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of a dig. I know I shouldn't have done it, but it infuriated me because...
as it would have a lot of people. It wouldn't just be yourself.
But again, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
We're all entitled to to our opinions, as it were. I mean, one question we get asked on a regular basis all the time here at PC Tech Radio is, why on our website have we got all these charities on our website? Well, these are charities that we believe in the work they do.
Yeah.
We want to show our support for them, so we've given them a link on our website so people can go and view their website and have a look at the work they do.
And hopefully make a donation.
And that's why, I mean, one of the main questions we get asked on a regular basis is, why are we supporting the Minds Advisory Group?
Yeah.
Well, I've stated on previous shows that it's a personal charity to me. It was founded by my father and my uncle.
Yeah.
I'm not pressuring people to make donations to the charity because, they wouldn't want me to do that, and it's not fair for me to push things like that. I mean, we do push the shop a little bit because obviously, things do cost money nowadays and things like that. And obviously we are going to be doing things a lot differently soon, hopefully, but it's one of those things at the end of the day where it's a case of, okay, so you've got this going, you've got that going, but what about the guy who's just starting out? Well, you don't have to go out there and build yourself a website like we did. And
no.
I mean, we were very lucky to get our website done.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's still a lot of work to do on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, it all depends where you want to take your podcast.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I mean, we want to be, this is going to sound a bit of egocentricity, you know what I mean? We want to be one of the top-rated download technology podcasts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad thing to say. I mean, we have had over 9,000 downloads of the show. But the thing is, to start off small is always the best way.
Well, that's it. You crawl, then you walk, and then you run.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you don't...
I mean, you know, it's... Me and Vishal didn't just say, okay, we're going to spend 400 quid and get the equipment.
Yeah.
It was about 6 months, well, not even that. It was 4 months before we decided, because I got all this equipment off a friend of mine who was going to do the podcast with me.
Yeah.
Who was a good college mate of mine. And he just went on to something different and sold me the equipment, so I bought it. And that's how we got our initial computer here at the studio.
Yep.
You know, we were quite lucky, but you know, as JJ has said, you know, you can start on a shoestring budget.
Well, that's it. You know, as I say, I'm just one man and his laptop.
Yeah, exactly.
And his internal microphone.
Yeah, you know, but it's again one question we have had, JJ, is Irish Nights on Facebook? Because the only Irish Nights thing they can find is the Irish Nights Entertainment Group.
No, it is. It's there. Irish Nights is on Facebook. It's a group on Facebook. So if you search for Irish Nights, it should come up.
It should come up.
Yeah.
What we'll do.
I'm actually what I'm looking at doing. A few people have said to me because it's as a group at the moment. What a few people have suggested to me is why not I just start up. Obviously, I've got JJ Lacey, you've got David McGrath.
Yeah.
Someone said, why not I just start up a whole new Facebook profile with just Irish Nights?
That's
because it'd be easier to find. And that's what I'm looking at doing now. I mean, you know, I've got the email address.
What we can do is we'll add a link to the Facebook group of Irish Nights on our Facebook group. Take a look, guys. It's well worth it. I mean, you know, JJ's come in today. You know, obviously this is our dual dedication to our very good friend Ash, who's probably looking down on us, laughing his head off, and probably trying to kick us up our backside, as he would have done anyway. But you know, it spirals sometimes. I mean, sometimes we've hardly had any downloads for some of our episodes. But if you keep building and building, hopefully, you know, you'll get to a stage where you think, okay, that's good for me. Yeah. You know, but guys, at the end of the day, you know, you don't have to have mega bucks to.
No, not at all.
To basically, you
have to have the motivation to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely an interest in your topic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, I mean, it'd be like me and David now. You know, if we said, right, we're going to do a show on women's knickers.
Or you know, hold on, here's one, right? Or if we were going to say, do a show on how bad retail supermarkets are nowadays. You know, it's a case of we'd have to have an interest in that topic.
Yeah. Because if you've got an opinion, that's an opinion, and that opinion will get you through about 5, if you're lucky, 10 minutes of your introduction show. Yeah. But then you've got the rest of that show, and then if you want to continue,
and you have to build on each show. I mean, what we try and do, that's why we went. I mean, obviously you've heard our shows, JJ, and we always say, you know, we do 3 shows on technology. And we try and cover as much as we can. Yeah. And then we do a free-for-all show, which is what this one is. Yeah. Where we cover various topics. It can be technology, it can be podcasting, it can be video podcasting. Yeah. I mean, one of the questions that we will do after this next song break is to do with video podcasting. Okay. And one of the questions we've had for Irish Nights is, will Irish Nights be doing a video podcast? Ooh, that's it.
I mean, do you want to answer this now or after the track?
Well, should we play the track first and then go into it?
We'll play the track and I'll have a glass of water.
Okay then, guys. We'll be back after this one. This one is the Bare Naked Ladies and Breakfast at Tiffany's. Now, back to this question we've had for Irish Nights. Will Irish Nights be doing a video podcast? Now, this is an interesting one, isn't it, John? As we were saying in the break, it's whether you can. I mean, obviously,
it's time consuming.
Yeah, it's time consuming.
There's no plans initially to do a video podcast. I have had a couple of people sort of emailing me and suggesting maybe my recipe of the week, to do it as a bit of a TV styly.
Yeah.
This is me making the recipe. This is how you go through the procedure, and then here's one I made earlier. Put it out of the oven. This is what it looks like.
Exactly. I mean, sort of like Blue Peter styly sort of thing.
It sounds great in theory, but to be honest,
it's the time constraint to it. I mean,
I'd need to ideally have someone on the camera so that I can get different angles and zooms. But yeah, it's we're working 5 days a week. It's getting the time to. We're getting the time to do the recording isn't the issue. It's the editing that will come in afterwards.
Yeah.
And then still find the time then to do the audio full show.
Yeah, exactly.
So at the moment, there's no plans to bring it in.
Yeah.
But the future could hold many possibilities.
Well, exactly. I mean, unlike us, as we have mentioned in previous shows, we are going to be doing PCTechRadio TV.
Yeah.
And just a quick shout out to Vishal, who's at uni today. Vishal, Vicky has emailed back.
Yeah, Vicky is
standing over the other side of the road and staring at the window.
Hi, Vicky.
Only kidding, Vish. Only kidding.
No, she's not really here, Vish. We've actually given your home address. So,
don't say that. He won't go home. But yeah, like we said, we are going to be doing PC Tech Radio TV now. We are going to have the time to do our editing and stuff, because I will leave my lovely workplace once the funding comes in for the show, and I will be doing most of the editing and production for the video podcast. But like John has said, it's a case of having the time and making sure that you can do those sort of things.
Well, that's it.
Because a half an hour video, for example, a half an hour video podcast can actually be recorded in 2 hours.
Yeah.
It could be 2 hours and then you condense it down to half an hour.
Yeah.
It is worth doing, because this leads us into our next question. Would you have preferred, and I think we'll open this out to both of us again.
Okay.
Would you have preferred doing a video podcast or an audio? Now, for me, I'd stick to the audio for now.
Yes, same with me. It's the audio. It's helped me to find my feet with podcasting. I'd imagine David Fisher the same. They've found their feet. See, when you do it video, it's like if you mess something up,
you can't. You can edit it, but you can't. You have to start again.
Yeah. So me personally, I'm glad I started out with audio. The good thing with it as well is it gives you the aspect of learning how to edit.
Yeah.
Because then video editing is pretty similar to audio editing.
But
if you've got audio editing tied down, going to video editing, it's kind of the next level. But
you get used to it from that perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, we have stated in previous shows. Here comes the ice cream van.
Right, I have a 99.
2 flakes and some
ice cream.
Yeah.
That's not our next track, by the way.
No, that is not the next track for the show. Like we've said, video it is time-consuming, video podcasting. So again, I'd have to agree with JJ. It's always good to start at a basic level.
Yeah.
I mean, audio podcasting is basic because you sat in the studio, you got your mics, you got your software set up, you got your music tracks, and then you're sorted.
Yeah.
But one vital piece of information, guys, for your podcasting or your video podcasting, please download your music legitimately.
Yeah.
I mean, we do get. I mean, I don't know.
iTunes, 79p a track.
Yeah. I don't know if you get the same emails we do, JJ. I mean, we've had emails. Oh, where did you get this song? Have you downloaded it through LimeWire or whatever? We always state we get our tracks through iTunes, because that means you've bought it. That's your track. Not to say that you can do whatever you want with it, because you can't. It's still under copyright to the artist. I mean, we've played UB40 in the past, and we've played Tiny Temper. We've played, Michael Jackson. We've played Tupac. We've played, they still own the copyright. And no, we are not willing to send out any of the tracks we play, because we don't own the copyright to them.
That's it.
And when you're doing a video podcast, especially, I would say you have to be aware of your copyright law.
Yeah.
Because your face is on camera, so you can't hide. But there is certain restrictions that you have to deal with. I mean, because we pay through iTunes for our music, it's we paid for it.
Well, we've paid. We can play it on the show.
And that's it.
Yeah, with podcasting, you don't need a special license to play the music. You can play it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're looking at maybe taking it to an online radio station, that's when things get different. But
but the thing is, I mean, one thing we are looking to do here, JJ, is play through our website live.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have said, "Do you need a license for this?" No, you don't, because you're only playing live for those people who want to listen to it live.
Yeah.
But that just means if there's any mistakes, you got no chance of editing it, which is the downside to
David McGraw, uncensored and live.
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, getting into podcasting is easy.
Yep, and it's fun.
And it is definitely fun, but you have to be sure that you want to dedicate the time, I reckon.
Yeah. And
you have to have a good topic. A couple of topics to stay away from, politics, for example, as we discussed earlier.
Unless you're a politician.
Yeah, exactly.
And even then, they should stay away from politics.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you say the wrong thing, you're opening up for a world of hurt. Yeah,
see, that's the thing. I mean, like I said earlier, with Irish Nights, with some of the news, and there's certain aspects of the news that I won't go into, and sometimes people say, "Oh, well, didn't you hear about this?" or "Don't you think you should mention that?" With Irish Nights, it's open to people from all backgrounds or communities.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm an Irish Catholic man, so I'm not going to say, right, well, my show is dedicated to Catholics, because it's not. It's dedicated to everyone.
Well, you get from the Irish community. Obviously, you're going to get Protestant and Catholic listening to the show. I mean, you can't just alienate one.
No, well, that's it.
For the sake of the other, can you?
Because as I said, the show it's there for everyone. We don't discriminate. Everyone's welcome. I mean, we've got listeners across Asia, and chances are most of them are probably not Irish.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's open to everyone. So never get into something that, if you want listeners, you don't want to be getting involved in certain aspects of politics, because you're just going to alienate your show.
Not only that, if you say the wrong thing, you're going to open yourself up to, possibly a prison sentence, because
you've got to know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Politics. You've got to research it.
And even when you research it, things change automatically anyway.
Yeah.
The situation in Ireland has always been a very delicate one.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of your listeners respect you for not touching on certain topics and certain.
Yeah, there's no need. I mean, people can find out about these topics if they want. But yeah, there's no need for me to go into it and say, right, yesterday this happened up north, and that happened up north, and this happened in the Republic, because that's not what the show is about. The show it's about having the crack. It's about entertaining people.
Yeah, exactly.
There's news and sports, but it's not the type of news. As I say, it's not political news.
Yeah, so we don't, and it's the same with us here at PCTechRadio. We don't cover that sort of thing. I mean, we may disagree with certain things that have been happening, but obviously, again, that's our opinions.
Yeah.
Again, you know, and we're all entitled to our opinion because we've all been there in the past. We've all slagged off the politicians.
That's it. Yep.
You know, I mean, I remember when the expenses scandal came out, and it was sort of like, but that's my money. You know, I've paid you that money. You've got into a 5-star hotel, and you
watched the porno channel for me.
Yeah, you know,
I could have watched that.
It's one of those things, but you know, these things happen. You know. And I mean, a lot of people want PCTechRadio to do a news section, which we are looking into. But the thing is, they want us to cover proper news like Afghanistan, Iraq, and again,
the only thing I can say is
that is still political, and we can't touch on things like that.
What I'd say to those people, you know, is 10 o'clock. ITV1, ITN News.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, 6 o'clock, ITN News.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you're a technology show.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, things like technology news.
Yeah, that's fine.
Afghanistan, I mean, unless you're making news on, in Afghanistan, Corporal Sergeant Major Anderson's computer went down. It's not really relevant.
You know, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's irrelevant to the show.
There are podcasts out there, you know, that cover politics. There's podcasts out there that cover news. I mean, BBC have got a news podcast.
They've actually, that only started recently. They've got several though, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they cover Radio 4 from BBC, from Radio 1 to Radio
6. I think it is.
It's 7, isn't it?
7. Yeah. So they've all got their own sort of shows, but yeah, I mean. If people, you know, want news, then you know there's news podcasts out there.
Exactly.
You know.
Now, time for a lighter topic, I think.
Yeah.
So, you know, movies wise.
Yeah.
What sort of take do you sort of with Irish Nights?
Yeah.
You know, do you cover a wide spectrum or?
Yeah. Movie of the week. I mean, last week we covered Toy Story 3. So yes, it's a wide spectrum.
What was the rating that you gave that? I mean, I missed that section of the show.
8 out of 10, I believe I gave Toy Story.
How come I thought I did feel let down at the end of it though? I must admit, it was a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, it's 8 out of 10. I mean, you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, this is the best ever Toy Story." Before I saw it,
no,
it's not.
1 and 2 are the best.
Yeah, I think. The only way I could say it was the best is if I'd watched it in 3D, my views would be different. I know a lot of people did watch it in 3D, but yeah, it wasn't the best one. I mean, it was good, but I'd give it. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, no, that's I'd agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah,
because it wasn't. It's not that it wasn't a good movie.
No, it
was a really good movie, but it was the ending that let it down.
Yeah. Because like the week before then, a completely different movie we reviewed, and that was The Expendables. And that got a 10 out of 10.
Which is what we're going to do today,
yeah.
as this being the free-for-all show.
Yeah.
Last week I went to watch it. I thought it hit all the boxes for me. It was funny in places. It was action packed. Things blown up. You know, proper guys film.
Yeah,
it's one that you don't want to take your girlfriend to because she's just going to be sat there with her arms folded. Going, why have you brought me to this bloody film?
I went there with Kerry, who's my girlfriend. I mean, she liked the movie, but when she came out, she said it was a good movie. But she goes, it's a guy's film.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably not one for bringing your girlfriend.
I mean, the one scene that always gets me is Sly Stallone, Arnie. And Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
You know, it's the shortest scene in the film,
but
it's the best scene in the film.
Yeah.
But I must admit, Jason Statham's character was, I mean, the knife throwing scenes was that big ass knife. That, oh my god.
Yep, Dolph Lundgren had. Yeah. That was some knife. That was one of those moments, a Crocodile Dundee moment.
Yeah.
That ain't a knife.
Yeah.
This is a knife.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, guys. This is our pick of the week for movie-wise, is The Expendables. Definitely one to watch.
Yep.
Definitely 10 out of 10, same rating as Irish Nights.
Yeah, I think every guy over 30, as I said in my show, every guy over 30, want to see this movie.
I mean, the other movies that have been released recently are there's a few, isn't there? There's I can't think off the top of my head.
They're eluding me now.
Let me just grab the studio laptop and we can go into the cinema chart and then. But you know, I mean, we've had the recent ones. I believe
the Last Exorcism.
I haven't.
I've not seen it. But
I've read a few reviews about that, and it's had mixed reviews.
Yeah, a friend of mine went to watch it. Quite funny, really. He went to watch it, and he didn't really rate the film. But he said it was quite strange, as on the drive home, there was a woman lying in the void. You know, so...
well, I mean, you get these strange things, you know...
Yeah, The Last Exorcism, but from what I've heard, it's not that great of a movie. But, I mean, I am going to watch it myself, because, to be fair...
until you see a movie yourself...
you can't really have an opinion.
You can't judge. You can't judge.
No.
I mean... It's like everybody was saying to me, Toy Story 3, you know, go and watch it, you have to watch it, you know, and your friends can be a good source of information at times, but, again, you're going on their opinion.
That's it. Sometimes, just so to make it clear, sometimes your friends get it wrong.
Yeah. Now, one comedy that's definitely out that I have seen, which is... Jennifer Aniston's new film, The Switch.
Oh yeah.
It is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
This I'll give it an 8 out of 10 simply because it's sort of got mixed reviews anyway.
Okay.
But it's it's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. Oh, I was in stitches. The guy in the film, I can't remember his name now. He starred in Joe's Apartment, I think. The film Joe's Apartment with the cockroaches.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
But it's very, very funny.
Yeah.
It's basically she wants to get pregnant. She picks the guy.
Okay.
And she uses a turkey baster basically to impregnate herself. Well, I won't spoil it for everybody, but her best friend does something with a turkey baster and has to replace the contents. So it's quite funny how it happens and how he finds out that.
See, because it's Jennifer Aniston, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big. I liked her in Friends, but I'm not a big Jennifer Aniston fan.
I must admit though, she did well in The Bounty Hunter. That was funny.
I've not seen that one yet. Gerard Butler, so I like his movies. She did well in a film a few years back, The Veiled.
That was with
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen, wasn't it? Yeah.
I voted for that film to come out on DVD because what put me off it, to be honest, was Jennifer Aniston, and it's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, she is a good actress, but
I think about her, I'm not too. I think
what it is, she gets a bit of a bad rap sometimes because some of the things that happen in her personal life and stuff, and they mix it in with the movies, which isn't fair. I mean, the one that she starred in with Kevin Costner, which was meant to be her, you know, the film Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah.
You know, I used to do something. You know, her mother was actually Mrs. Robinson, and Kevin Costner's character was. You know, it was sort of based on a true story. So you know, the other one that I want to go and see is the new Julia Roberts one, Eat, Pray and Love.
Okay.
That does look good from trailers that I've seen.
See, I want to watch the new Resident Evil movie.
That's the Afterlife. Yeah.
That's the movie that. Well, if Ash was still with us,
he
loved his Resident Evil.
Oh yeah, because he had all of them. He had all of them, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of those. And this is our top pick of the week here at PCTechRadio, which is The Other Guys, with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell, and it stars Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock. Well, Dwayne Johnson, should we say?
Dwayne Johnson,
because we're not allowed to call him The Rock anymore, because he's stopped wrestling. Well, he doesn't mind, I'm assuming. But I went to watch this last week, and I was crying all the way through with laughter. It was so funny. The trailer doesn't do it it's one of these where the trailer doesn't do the film justice.
Okay.
For definite. It really doesn't do it justice because, you know, Mark Wahlberg isn't known for his comedies.
No,
he's known more
not.
for his action films like The Bourne Identity. Is that
no? That's Matt Damon.
That's Matt Damon.
Mark Wahlberg was in Four Brothers, The Shooter, Max Payne.
Yes, as Vishal would say, it's me being a granddad again, so I'll throw that one in.
That's a gay gramps for later on.
But, you know, this is definite one to watch. Yeah. Seriously, JJ, I'll recommend it to you to watch whenever you get a chance. Perfect comedy, definitely.
Can't bring the missus, she likes comedies.
You know, I mean, I'm more of a my film taste varies from time to time. I have to be in the mood for certain genres.
Yeah.
I mean, Resident Evils, I didn't really like them to start with.
Okay.
And I remember Ash saying to me, "Why? You know, because Mila Jovovich is brilliant in these. You know, and as we know, Mila Jovovich, her first." I believe one of her very first films was Joan of Arc.
Okay, yeah.
She did Joan of Arc, and then she went and she became a household name with The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, she became an even bigger sensation with the Resident Evils.
Yeah.
And apparently this last one is absolutely amazing from the look of the trailer.
Yeah, it looks good in 3D.
Does it?
Yeah, it's because they've made it in 3D, and from the trailers you can kind of tell where the 3D parts will be happening, and it looks amazing.
So, you know, guys, definitely, you know, give us some feedback on the movie reviews. You know,
or better still, buy a ticket for Resident Evil and then post it to me.
Yeah, we'll take any free donations for you know, to go and watch films, or if you have any films that you want us to review here at PC Tech Radio, we'll send it to moviereviews@PCTechRadio.com. Also, you know, give JJ a shout over at Irish Nights. What's your email over there, JJ? IrishNights2010@hotmail.com. So, you know, guys, give us a shout, and we can go and do these movie reviews.
Yeah.
Or even if you've got a book that you want JJ to review, you know, just give him an email, and obviously he'll.
Because what I'm doing as well with the reviews is I'm not going to just be reviewing the newest and latest sort of.
It's previous.
Yeah, just a little bit of about what's planned for next week's show. The movie of the week is going to be Centurion.
That looks amazing.
Yeah,
that does look good.
I've got it on DVD, and tomorrow night it's
Centurion. Is that the one with Michael Douglas?
Not Dominic West.
I'm thinking of the wrong one. I'm thinking of Sentinel.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Sentinel with Michael Douglas and it's not Christian Slater. Kiefer Sutherland, I think it is.
Okay, yeah.
But I'd like to take this opportunity actually to give a shout out to Michael Douglas, who is battling throat cancer, and wish him all the best in his recovery for that as well. And obviously a shout out to our Facebook group, 94 members, and climbing. You know, it's. Would you
like to name them all one by one?
Well, that's a bit difficult because we've got some celebrities on there, so and they always don't like being given shout outs, so you know, we've got to be very careful. Obviously, everybody knows what celebrities are on there. I mean, I'll do it quickly. You've got Ashley Tisdale, Vanessa Hudgens, Miley Cyrus. We've got Michael Fraser, who used to be on Beat the Burglar with Dominic Littlewood.
Okay.
He used to break into the people's houses and show how unsecure their house was. And I used to love that TV series.
Yeah, I used to watch it from one.
You know,
I like that Dominic guy. I mean, he's been on a lot of shows.
The thing is, you'd look at the house and you think, there's nothing wrong with that house, it's secure.
That's it.
And the guy would get in there in 10 seconds and just rob it.
I'll tell you, the one that I will always remember
Is it the one where he took the car as well?
He took the car and the dog.
Yeah.
He got all the stuff, and I think it's a silver Mercedes, but he loaded everything into the back of the silver Mercedes, and as he was reversing it out of the garage, the dogs come strolling up. He's opened the door, the dogs jumped in with him, and off he's gone.
Yeah.
You
know, but unfortunately, I want the BBC to release that on DVD. I really do, because that was just an amazing TV series.
Yeah, it's the good thing with shows like that as well is it opens your eyes
to various.
Yeah, do you know people who think okay, here in the studio now there's like a window that's open. From the looks of it, it's only a small window.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that say no one can get in that, and they'll leave it open and they'll go out.
I mean, I leave it open just to get the air circulating in here, but I do close it on occasion.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that security. Well, I am very security orientated because I've actually got CCTV around the house.
Yeah.
Which is hidden away in everything, but obviously you don't have to go to that expense, guys. But you know, at the end of the day, this program did open up. You know, and you'd think, well, we got through that window.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's it. You know, it shows like that you know, to make the public aware of. You look at it and say, because Dominic always says, if you lock up how you normally would, and you see them, and
they go in that little van, don't they, and watch the CCTV.
And it's like when he tells them, okay, lock up as you normally would, you can kind of tell these guys are locking up more than they normally would.
Yeah. You
can tell that by the way that they're doing it, and yet they're still getting paid. And that's with them locking up more than they.
Well,
you know.
it's there's certain aspects of security that you can do, obviously, but you know, we're not the show for that. There is a few shows on the podcasts for that on iTunes.
Yeah.
They do some really good research, and if you're very security orientated and want CCTV all over the place, then they will advise you the best ways to go.
Yeah.
So, obviously, with your review section on Irish Nights, the Geekly Weekly, you know, one of the questions we did have: will you be touching on technology, as in mobile phones and?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I suppose another little sneak preview, as it were. What I've reviewed or going to review in next week's show is the Flip Video HD.
Oh, I want one of them.
It's the 4 GB version, but a bit of a review on it. But yeah, I mean that's what I'm going to do. I work in the mobile phone industry, so yeah, there will be the occasional mobile phone review. But to be fair, I don't want to be reviewing every new phone that comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
There's other things. There's other parts of technology other than your mobile phone.
Exactly.
You know.
I mean, we've had questions on here in the past where it's sort of like, will you ever discuss unlocking mobile phones? And we've gone no, because it's illegal. You're not allowed. I mean, unless you know it's like tri-band, dual band.
Yeah.
That means it can accept any network.
Yeah.
You know, that's why those phones now. Yes, there are places that will unlock the mobile phone, but that's because they paid for a license to do so.
Yeah, you get basically to unlock a mobile phone. It's pretty much software that does it.
Yeah.
You buy the software legitimately, and then you unlock the phone. But I mean,
the manufacturer of the phone never recommends to unlock the phone.
No, but what happens is something we get at work quite often. People come in, oh, do you unlock phones? The company I work for doesn't.
Yeah.
Reason for that is if you say, for example, you go to a certain network, I'm not going to name from everyone knows who the networks are. So you go into a network, you buy a phone. That phone more than likely will be locked onto that network, so it won't accept another network SIM. As soon as you unlock it, it voids your warranty. Now a lot of people don't realise that, but it voids a warranty because even though the software that unlocks it has been bought legitimately, because it's not the manufacturer doing it themselves or the network, it voids a warranty. Right. The networks can sometimes give you a code for your phone. Like an example is with the iPhone, for £15 on certain networks, you pay them £15. They then give you a code, and then that allows you to use any SIM in there rather than just that network.
Oh right, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah,
is that the network that you're with?
Yeah. So You give your network £15. They give you what's called an unlocking code. And then what that code does, it unlocks the phone so you can use any SIM card in the phone. Yeah. And if you do it that way, it doesn't void your warranty.
Yeah. But word of warning, I did read an article where a kid of age of 17 did that with a contract iPhone 3GS.
Yeah.
Now, this was a big thing in the Birmingham Mail because he got a bill of £1,600 for the applications. Alone.
Yeah.
Now,
see,
that's the only downside to it because the apps are free. These were free applications that he was downloading, but because it wasn't on the network that the contract was bought on, Apple had the right to charge him for those applications. Yeah, see,
that's the thing. There are sort of backlashes to unlocking your phone. Yeah. Me personally, if you're going to buy a brand new phone and you want it unlocked because it's locked onto a certain network, well, don't buy it for that network.
Yeah, exactly. You know? I mean,
you want to go to an independent dealer who more than likely is going to sell you a phone that's already unlocked anyway.
Well, yeah.
And then you don't need to unlock it. But yeah, I mean, what I'd say, if you're going to unlock it, your best way is always get in touch with your network first.
Yeah.
And just say, look, I want to unlock it. Is there any code you can give me, or can one of your stores do it? Because if your phone's covered under a warranty, if the network do it, you've still got your warranty. If Backstore Joe's High Street mobile phone repairs store does it, right, you're walking out of there with no warranty on your phone any longer.
Exactly.
So
we don't.
It's not worth the risk.
We don't recommend.
Plus, with phones these days now, with the exception of iPhone and BlackBerry, and I think HTC, most phones come with a 2-year warranty. So if you're 6 months into that 2-year warranty, you've then got no warranty. And it's always sod's law. A week later, you're going to get a software problem and you have to pay to get it fixed.
With the new iPhones anyway, they cannot be unlocked to other networks because they have the micro
SIM cards.
SIM cards, which are the SIM cards that are being rolled out. I've been reading they're going to be rolled out for every mobile phone network now, aren't they?
Because they're going to be rolled out. I mean, a lot of, they've started with a micro SIM and everyone was like, oh, what's going on here now? What are Apple playing at?
Yeah.
But it's just it's a smaller SIM, and to be fair, Apple have done it. It's not going to be long now before other manufacturers start.
Yeah, because this does stop the unlocking issue. From what I was reading, because one guy bought the iPhone 4 on O2, but he wanted it on Orange, which is two of the major networks in the UK here.
Yeah.
I don't know what their reach is in America or the States. I don't think it's much because they've got AT&T and...
Yeah, AT&T is the main one over in the States, I think.
I mean, I got an email from them the other day actually offering me a mobile phone.
There you go.
And, I was interested in going with their satellite phone package though. But, to spend $196 a year, it's quite a kick in the teeth, as it were. But it's one of those. But guys, look, at the end of the day, all technology-based stuff nowadays, mobile phones, computers, it rolls forward all the time.
Yeah, there's always something new.
Always something new. I mean, it's like, this is why you don't stick with. If you build yourself a computer, you're not going to stick with it for 5 years. Once the latest thing comes out, you're going to upgrade.
It's like I mentioned earlier, I'm looking at building a gaming machine, and part of what I want to achieve with it is to, in some aspects, make it future-proof. So I want to put in a lot of memory. Yeah. I want to put in. I'm thinking probably an i7 top of the range processor. Yeah. But there's always going to be like graphics cards. Graphics cards over the next 5 years. Yeah, it's.
I think that's the only graphics cards I think now that won't be changing over the next 5 years the new GTXs because I think Nvidia have outdone themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, those units are flying off the shelves in the States.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's what it is. If you're going to build a PC, something I always advise sort of clients if they ask me to build one, or if anyone asks me for advice on building, is when you're looking at the spec, don't look at what you want it for now. Look at it in the future.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than you go and get a computer built and you know, you get built on the cheap. Your motherboard only supports 4 gig of RAM, for instance, and then in a few years' time, the way operating systems are advancing, 4 gig is going to be bare minimum.
Yeah,
you know, make it future proof. Look at what you need for now. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but think, well, in the future, you know, especially if you're a gamer.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when Crysis came out.
I mean, the thing. Crysis was, when that came out, that was
no one had a computer that could run the game.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. You need to think of the future.
Yeah.
You know, if you build a computer for the here and now, I'll be honest with you, you're going to be adding to that computer within probably 12 months.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I always advise people. You know, the first thing I do before I build a PC for any of my customers to our business is, the first and foremost, what do you do most on it?
Yeah.
You know, because that's the first and foremost question.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's a case of 9 times out of 10, I play games.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm looking at that. So, what is your highest spec game that you play?
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously, as you said, you future-proof it, because the only thing that you probably need to upgrade in the future, if you plan it right and you build it right, is your graphics.
That's it. That'd be the only upgrade.
And maybe your monitor, because they're starting to bring out. I was reading. I don't know if you caught this the other week. They're bringing out 3D TFT monitors.
Oh, right, okay.
For PCs to deal with the 3D graphics cards that are coming out.
Yeah. Next
year, I believe. They come out.
Yep.
There's no fixed release date. I mean, one thing I am trying to save for is that 20 terabyte.
Oh yeah.
which is sort of, when I saw it, I thought, yeah, I could do with 20 terabyte, but like I was saying to Vishal on the show, it's sort of like you ring up work and say, yeah, I need 3 months off.
That's it, yeah.
You know, going anywhere nice. No, I'm reformatting my hard drive. You know, because another question we've had here is, with a terabyte, I'm looking to partition it.
Okay.
Now, what would you recommend? Now, normally, it depends what you want to do. Now, I'll give you an example. When I bought my external terabyte, I was going to partition it 200, 200, 200.
Yeah.
So that there would be like 5 hard drives at 200 gig each.
Yeah.
But what you've got to realise is, you've then got 5 hard drives on the one.
Yeah.
Now, if that goes, you lose everything. So there's no point. Now, with a 2 terabyte, 1 terabyte I wouldn't really worry about, because it's a case of, it'll format quick anyway, as long as you've got the memory and the processor to run the speed. Now, with a 2 terabyte, I would definitely recommend partitioning it.
Yeah.
And the way that I would normally do it would be a 500 gig for your operating system.
Yep, and then 1.5.
And then 1.5 terabyte.
That's right.
For your space.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, 2 terabytes, you're talking at least. I wouldn't even want to hazard a guess on how long it'd take to format. Yeah. I would say at least. I would say at least a minimum of 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, that's the minimum. Like you say, depending on memory and processing speed.
Yeah, because a lot of things also that we haven't touched on in the show in the past is, the thing with a PC, with any PC or laptop, it goes by your hard drive space, your memory, and your CPU speed, not what the CPU is.
Yeah.
So, say for example, you've got 48 gig memory, which you can get now, DDR3. You've got a 2 terabyte hard drive with an i7 running at 3.6 gig.
Yep.
That is going to run as if, you know...
That's going to run like a Ferrari.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but for the budget PC builder, or for the budget PC, you're looking at probably 2 to 3 gig maximum memory.
Yep.
You're looking probably AMD and a low spec Intel.
Yeah.
So you're talking 1 to 2 gig processors.
Yep.
Now, yes, it's good having a terabyte hard drive, but you've also got to remember there could be system lag.
Yeah.
That's
the thing, because I don't think a lot of people take that into consideration.
No, but we'll get more into system lag after this next song. I think we'll take a song break. This is going to be a long show. We're going to go over the 2-hour limit because we're doing this one for Ash, a good friend of ours, and we've got another song to play, another 2 songs to play, and still a few more questions for John and Irish Nights. So we'll be back right after this one, and this one is Flow Rider and Zook Girl. This was actually done to advertise the online dating thing that goes on through Facebook.
Okay, Zook.
Yeah, so whether we've pronounced it right, I'm not sure, but here it is. It's quite a catchy tune, guys, so I hope you like it. Here you go. The next 3 shows, Vishal will be back on the next show. Because we're in Nottingham at the Hayden Centre, I believe it is, at the big computer fair down there, buying some goodies and...
Goodies?
Oh, yes. I'm really looking forward to it because my router for Sky Broadband is about to die its death because
it's going to be ghost.
Yeah, as they say, because the signal's dropping out, and
and
when the router starts doing that, it's time to replace it.
Yeah.
We do have a question about Sky Broadband. I'm going to get JJ in on this, but the next 3 shows we're going to be doing the new Internet Explorer versus the new Firefox. We're going to be covering Windows 8. We are going to try and beg Microsoft for a legitimate copy if we can. We'll see. We'll get some fun out of that, I think. It does look good, though. I must admit, it does look good. But I just hope it's not another Windows Vista. And this is what I've said to Vishal. I just hope it's not a stopgap.
Yeah. Like
Vista was to Windows 7.
Yeah.
I just hope that it isn't, because...
Hope it's the real deal.
Yeah, exactly. And then the 3rd show will be the next free-for-all show. And I think we're doing that live from somewhere. I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to chase a visual on that, because I think we're attending a fundraising event.
Okay.
So...
Coming to you live from planet Earth.
Yes, sort of along those lines. Now, my internet connection here at the studio is Sky Broadband. I haven't had any problems until recently. Now, as we were discussing the break, JJ, you said you have a well-known companies like Virgin and TalkTalk at separate locations. But obviously, there's so many broadband companies out there nowadays that it's obviously hard to choose. Now, Sky obviously do a very good deal. You get the TV, the phone line, and the broadband for like £29 a month unlimited.
Okay, yeah.
So, but the issue that I'm having is it keeps dropping out. Signal keeps dropping out, and it keeps messing up, and the connection rate isn't very good. The download speed for if I'm watching a video or streaming a video through BBC iPlayer, for example, because 9 times out of 10 I'm at work and I can't sort of get to watch the programmes on the BBC that I want to watch.
Yep.
So I watch them through BBC iPlayer. Now it keeps popping up insufficient bandwidth to watch this streaming vid. Now I know that to be a connection issue.
Yeah.
But the question that we've had from one of our listeners, they didn't leave their name, unfortunately.
Okay.
And of course we respect that right for anonymity, and you know, and they don't want Sky cutting them off. But the issue was basically with what they replace the router with. Now, I don't know if you've ever come across this. As we know, I'll give a bit of background to what I know with Sky. They issue a Netgear router, which is the white one, which is sort of like with the little aerial on it.
Yep. I think most companies issue Netgear.
Now, Sky have brought out a new one.
Okay.
It's Netgear again, but it's a thin black one with no aerial.
Right.
but it is a wireless router.
Okay.
Now, the issue is that this broadband customer is having same issue I'm having where the signal's dropping out, but they didn't have this issue before the router was switched.
Right.
So what they basically asked for general query and help with this issue to see whether we can come up with any solution for them.
Okay.
Now, I know from personal experience, because I've dealt with this router, it's not a very good router because it is Netgear, but it's not their top quality.
Right.
It seems to be one of these that's bung together and here you go, Sky, here's 50,000 units for your customers. Whereas with TalkTalk and Virgin, you sort of have, because Virgin used to be Telewest,
it did,
as everybody is aware, and they, before they were bought by Virgin, they did a deal with Netgear to be able to provide wireless.
Yeah, because with Virgin,
customers.
you've got two. You've got the modem, which, because they still give you a modem which is wired in with the cable in the back, and that's normally a Motorola modem, and then
that's still the surfboard one, isn't it?
Yep. And then
it's
you've
the
got
black one there, isn't it?
It's the
short
one.
Black one.
Yep,
there.
black one stands up on its side, loads of green lights, bottom light, orange light at the bottom.
Yep.
And then through Ethernet cable, you then connect that into a Netgear wireless router.
Yeah.
And touch wood, I've never had an issue.
Yeah.
I'll probably go on now and
what would
have
your
problems.
opinion be on this connection issue? Because obviously, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, it could be down to upgrading of their systems or
see what I would look
updating.
at is, okay, the person's had the issue since the new router.
Yeah.
So what I'd be looking at is, what was the reason for the change in router? Was it just Sky said, great, you qualify for a new router, or
I think what it was, the issue was the connection issue started just before the new router was issued. So they've issued this new router to try and solve the issue, but it's still solved it. It still hasn't solved it. But I do know that Netgear do a range called Max Range, as we both know. It's their top end router and wireless card. Now, I do know the Max Range stuff works and solves this connection issue. Yeah. But with wireless, what you have to remember, you have to count how many walls the signal is going through.
Yeah. Because this person, they've had an internet connection, and it was working fine. They started getting issues with a new router, and still got issues.
It's still issues, but the signal has dropped down even further than what they were getting before.
For that person to, I suppose, have to go out and get a Netgear router at cost to them, is, in my opinion, it's bad. Because your internet provider, you know, if you've been with them so long, so with mobile phones, you stay with network for 18 months, 2 years, you get new equipment. So your internet provider should be giving new equipment. If that equipment doesn't work, then they should be replacing it. Not like that. That'd be like getting a contract mobile phone. Oh, my phone doesn't work. Well, if you go and buy that top of the range one over there, that you know, so you shouldn't have to do that unless it's a personal preference.
Well,
and another thing I'd say from a troubleshooting point of view is try it with other devices, you know, because it could be if two routers are not sending through the signal, say, to your laptop, if that's what you're using as a laptop, the problem could actually be with the equipment inside the laptop.
Yeah.
So get a mate around, get him up on your Wi-Fi, see if he's having problems.
If they have the same connection issue.
Because if what you'll find is if you get your friend around and he's on your internet connection and he's having no problems whatsoever, then that straight away says, right, there's a problem with the Wi-Fi card in your laptop or on your PC.
Well, I mean, it's like me. I know it's my router about to give up the ghost because I have bars at the bottom of my clock.
Yeah.
And 3 of them are empty, they're not full anymore, so I know it's my router about to give up the ghost. So when I go to the computer fair and go running around all the stalls in Nottingham, it's going to be, you know, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, you know, but obviously I'm there for a reason. I'm there to replace certain equipment and buy new equipment that obviously we need here in the studio. But obviously don't what's the word? Don't discount anything. I mean, always look for not the quick fix, but always do a list. Okay, I've had the new router. It could be that, but it also could be an internal issue with my computer or my laptop.
Well, that's it. I mean, if it's internal, like I said, the best way to do that is to get someone around with their laptop and get them, give them your password if they've not already got it. But get them online and see how they fare.
Exactly, but I will give a bit of a thing that I didn't realise. A wireless signal will not travel through lead.
No. Like Superman's vision.
Yeah. It won't travel through lead.
Yeah.
So, if you have any sort of lead walling or lead lining in your walls between, because they used to do it between like the installation or stuff. So I'm told, it won't travel through the walls. But you also have to remember that if your router is downstairs in your front room, and you've got a 3-story house and you're on the very top floor, you will receive a very weak signal. That's why I will always say Netgear max range, because that stuff is just unbeatable for the range of the signal.
Because your average router, it will quite easily cover your house and possibly your next door neighbour's house. But no, see, with max range.
Max range.
That covers a few houses.
Well, I was told I think it's 500 feet. 360 degrees. So 500 feet is where the secondary school is, just down from the studio to the other end of the road from the studio. You know, and then back. You know, so it'll cover, and that's 360 degrees. But one issue that also we had emailed, quite an urgent one. I have a Netgear router, and it has a double firewall, but I cannot activate the second firewall. Is there any advice you can give me? Now, I'm going to be buying a double firewalled Netgear router at the computer fair, because I've seen one for £66 online. So I'm assuming at the computer fair, I mean, you've been yourself, JJ.
It should be cheaper.
It should be about 34 quid, 35 quid. And if I can get that, I'll be able to. But I would say, always follow the instructions for setting up your routers, because if you don't, it's going to be...
When it comes to your routers, it's one of those pieces of kit that, unfortunately, if you don't know what you're doing, you have got to follow the instructions. It's not one of those things you just take out the box.
One of the things that I didn't do when we first had Sky is I didn't set up the encryption. Until my friend said, well, you've got an open router. Somebody could be... this is how it was put to me. Somebody could be downloading child porn. Obviously extreme case. Somebody could be downloading child porn, but because they're doing it through your router, the police will arrest you. So, that's an extreme case, people. That's not...
And just to point out, with the Netgear Max, what you want to do is definitely make sure you've got your security in place, because the range is a lot wider, which means there's a lot more scope for people to pick up your connection for a start. If that connection is unsecured, it's not like David said. People can. It's not just the fact that they can download things that might not be appropriate and they're doing it through your router. But if the whole neighbourhood realise, hey, we've got free access here, your connection is going to slow down.
They could be downloading movies. They could be downloading music, and you get the blame.
And then when you want to log on, and you might just want to go onto the BBC website, your connection's really slow, because half the neighbourhood are using your connection to download.
I mean, you covered a thing with... You came across a thing which we did a show on a while back about the routers that were being hacked through the old way of hacking, which was DNS. Now, if that happens, and you haven't got your encryption on,
well, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
And it's very, very rare that it happens, but you do hear some horror stories. I mean,
you do.
You know, after we did that show, I did some research. There was a guy in the States who was arrested for apparently downloading like 700 gigs worth of movies that he never downloaded. And of course, in America, movie piracy is very, very... It's a federal crime.
Yeah.
And unless you pay for it through a company like Graboid, and you can prove that you're paying for it, you know, then it's...
Well, it's illegal.
It's illegal. And obviously here at PCTechRadio, and obviously with yourself, JJ, I mean, we can't condone these things because it's... You know, fair enough. Yeah, they use. I'll admit it. I used to buy the video CDs when they, you know, your mate would give you 2 discs. Yeah, this is the latest movie. That's you know, couple of quid, mate. Go on then.
DVD.
You know, it's one of them things. But the thing is, you know, it does spoil the enjoyment of the films. I mean, with Graboid Video, they're very good. They are DVD quality and. You know, they don't allow people to upload.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they get these direct from the studio. The membership that I pay, I think it's $29.99. I think that gets partially given to the studio. And
is that per month, is it? Or
that's per month. So when I run out, I have to wait until I can top up again and stuff. But I get 500,000 meg of download allowance. I mean, I download my American... I'm a big fan of my American TV shows, I have to admit. I mean, I love How I Met Your Mother with Neil Patrick Harris and Alison Hannigan. I just think it's downright hilarious. And then you've got The Big Bang Theory, which, I mean, come on. A TV show about 4 neurotic physicists and a very fit, hot next door neighbour.
Hottie!
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're gonna want to watch to see what happens, and it's just hilarious. And I do like Extreme Makeover Home Edition. It always tugs at my heartstrings. I mean,
with that's the
Ty Pennington.
That's the one. I love that.
And the one that really got to me was Bowie Byers.
Okay.
Young, I think she was 8-year-old who had cancer and had fought it off twice. They redid her house, and the episode that I watched it through, obviously tears. And I'm going to admit it, I'm a bloke, but you know, things like when you can't help watching things like, if you don't show your emotion, it's going to well up, and it's going to come out anyway. You know, but what really got me bawling was at the end of this episode that I downloaded through Graboid. Unfortunately, it's not on there anymore, but it come up before the credits were rolling at the end of the show. It come up, Bowie passed away. You know, and then I did a bit of research, and you can see Bowie's blog. It's still up, and her parents still write it, and they still, you know, but the amount of lives they've changed, through the shows that they've done, it's nuts.
No,
I mean, you know, I mean, my favourite one is when Ed first appears on Extreme Makeover.
Okay.
Because he's the limey, as the Yanks call us. Preston takes the bit of advantage of him and gets him to build like this 60-foot bookcase in this new house, and it's sort of like he's walking around going, Preston's got me doing this, and I don't know if I'm going to get it done in time, but it's quite extreme. But you know, that's the one show that I would love to volunteer on. Just for the hell of it, because you know, it's one of those shows that I would recommend anybody to watch. I think it's on UK Living or
it is
on Sky, isn't it? And I don't know if it's on the same channel on Virgin.
on UK Living.
Yeah. I don't know what the channel numbers are.
Oh,
but,
yeah, no, I don't.
I have it on favourites. I just press my blue button on my remote and then it bang, done. But I think they're starting series 8. Has just started in the US, so we should be getting that in the next couple of weeks over here.
Yeah.
Recommend it to everybody to watch. Absolutely awesome TV show.
Yep.
And it will tug at your heartstrings, some of the stories. I mean, there's one with a guy as well who was what a lot of people don't realise here in the UK is mould is actually lethal. It can kill you.
Yeah.
And they do highlight this on Extreme Makeover Home Edition, because one of the shows also that I watched was of a guy who was redoing the house, and he was doing the basement, and he's taking in mould spores while doing the work, and they found out they couldn't live in the house, and the guy actually died on Christmas Eve. He went into a fit, and they actually played a 911 call, and it's sort of like his wife is actually screaming at him, come back to me, you know, and it's sort of like, you know, to hear, but they play it not to shock, or they play it to give you the backstory of the family and why they've gone through the heartache and why they're going to do this house. And you know, it's a once in a lifetime show, I think, and to be honest, I think is it NBC or ABC that produce it? It's ABC, isn't it?
I think, yeah.
You know, and for ABC to do a show like that and put their money where their mouth is and say, you know, we're going to get these people in, and the amount of, you know, I just can't believe when they can actually do it in 7 days. That's why I want to volunteer.
That's it.
I want to volunteer to actually see it happen.
It's a lot of hard work, and
you know, and
pays off.
Plus, they have celebrities. I mean, the last one I watched, they had Jessica Alba.
Oh, right, okay.
Building this house. You know, it's nuts. You know, they've got Exhibit, Jessica Alba, Kelly Pickler, who's a major country western star. You know, they've had they have major celebrities and things show up. I mean, the best one that I ever watched as well was the design team were in the house doing the plan, and Ty's waiting in the driveway. And this Jeep pulls up, and it's the dad of the family who'd been in Iraq.
Oh yeah, okay.
So they don't know he's there.
Yeah.
Building the house, and then at the end, you know, obviously, the mother's on the phone to the dad. She thinks he's in Iraq.
Okay.
And he's in the back garden with the baseball thing and the glove and the ball. But he's got the phone, and she's in their new bedroom, and she's describing it to him over the phone. He's going, "Look, honey, I gotta go," and all this, blah blah blah. You know what the calls are like over here. So I gotta go, and then they bring him out into the back garden, and Ty sort of does his main thing. You know, he's nuts anyway.
He is.
But in a good way, not in a bad way, in a good way. And basically, it's a case of, I want to introduce you to a guy who's been helping me out all week. As soon as he stepped round that corner, that was it. She recognised him, and you know, that's when I started to go, because it's sort of like, he's been out there for 6 months, and you know, obviously it's one of the, but definitely recommend it to our listeners to watch, because it's one of those. Right, we're going to take a quick song break, and we're going to be back with more for the free for all. This has actually gone to be our longest show now. I think we'll be close to the 3 hour mark by the time we finish. But hey,
record breakers.
Yeah. Oh, that's another one that I can download through Grabwood. Guys, as we've said at the start of the show, this one's for our joint one for Ash, who, you know, we miss dearly, who passed away very sudden at the start of this month. His funeral was it last Friday? Last Friday, and it was a big turnout.
There was, I'd say easily a couple of hundred people there.
You know, I mean, unfortunately, I couldn't attend, but we did pass our condolences to his family via the show. I couldn't attend because of work commitments, unfortunately, and as I stated, Ash would have been the first one to kick my ass if he'd have seen me there. You know what I mean? Because he would have said to me, "Well, you've been wanting to do this job for ages. What are you doing here? You know, get fucking, you know, and just do it." But that's what he was like. Now, this next song I'm going to play is a classic UB40 track, UB40 with Ali Campbell, and we wish Ali Campbell a speedy recovery as well. It was reported the other day that he had fallen ill, so Ali, if you listen, if you don't, well, hopefully you do, but this one's for you. A classic UB40 track there for off their Rat in the Kitchen album. That was Tell It Like It Is. So again, this is our joint effort to commemorate and remember a good friend.
It is indeed.
Between PCTechRadio and Irish Nights. So when's your next show then, JJ?
Okay, so the next show, it's going to be Sunday. So Sunday 26th. It should be up by the sort of evening time.
Yeah, and as we stated at the top of the show, will Mossy be there?
No.
Okay. Unfortunately, guys, for those of you who've emailed in and said we want Mossy back, he'll be very busy. So
yeah, it's just because I'd say it's like, you know, we both sort of work during the week, and then like the weekends, like Saturday and Sunday, the days that, like, you know, Moss got to go and do all his shopping, he's got to get all his stuff done. Sundays I'm free, Moss isn't. And that's just a bit of an we're having at the minute, is the whole. It's trying to. It's together.
It's like I said to you, you know, before we started recording, wasn't it? It's like me and Vishal. 9 times out of 10, he's either at uni or I'm at work, and then by the time we get around to actually recording the show, it's like a couple of weeks later, and you know. But obviously, in podcast language, people don't realise.
Yes, that's it. It's because the way I've looked at it is, if I can't get Moss like available, you know, the show must go on.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm looking at, like, he's you know, getting him in to do a book review, possibly once a week, because with that he can sort of record that in his own time when he is free. Yeah. Pass on the recording to myself, and I can then integrate that into the show. Well, but yeah, the whole, like, the two of us hosting the show, the issue is both of us being together at the same time, because most times when I'm available he's not. And then if he's available, I'm not.
Yeah, it's time constraints as well, you know, and trying to fit it in at the same time. So, you know, but guys, look, we're touching the 2.5 hour mark, and we really can't go any further, because if we do, we're going to use up a lot of editing time tonight. Yeah. So, guys, listen, it's been great having you here, JJ, for this free for all show.
Having me on the show.
Yeah, anytime. And again, this is our joint show to our good friend Ash Ukanand, who passed away on the 1st of September.
And Ash, wherever you are, may the force be with you.
Alright, and don't look on us too harshly. No. You know, because I know Ash, he's probably going, why are you guys doing these shows for me? You know, that's it. You know, it was, but, you know, as we've stated, on PC Tech Radio's dedication show, Ash was going to come on and talk about Apple Macs, because me and Vishal have absolutely no knowledge of them whatsoever.
I have a bit of knowledge about them. I know they're made by Apple.
And that's about it. Yeah. You know, that's the same with us. But Ash was going to go into detail on what they can do and what software was available and stuff, because we still are getting a lot of questions. Yeah. We have had a lot of emails from the previous show to pass on condolences from listeners and things to the family and stuff like that. But this closing track would have been a track that Ash, I think, would have loved. Yeah. This is Tiny Temper featuring Eric Turner. I think he'd have loved this track, to be honest. What do you reckon, Jojo?
Oh, I think he would have loved it. I mean, first time I actually heard this track was in episode 18 of your show. Yes. That's the first time I heard it, and I've heard it quite a few times now, and it's amazing. Yeah. Tiny Temper, he just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the first tracks of his that I've actually heard. I haven't heard any. I don't think I've heard any of his previous stuff.
I've heard the previous two, and I mean, they were just awesome.
You know, but I know for a fact that Ash would have loved this track because it was sort of along his sort of music genres that he and you know he would have been the first one to tell me about this.
Yeah.
I mean, Vishal passed this track on to me and said we have to play this as an opener.
Yeah.
And that was show 18, and this is the only time we're going to repeat this, but we're repeating it for a good friend, and we miss him. And guys, we will see you on show 20. We're logging off, and hope you enjoyed this one. And we're sorry about the length, but you know, free for all. We've done a bit of everything today, and we've had JJ in the studio, so hopefully you've enjoyed it, and give us your feedback. And if you want to listen to Irish Nights, it's available on iTunes under Irish Nights, but they're also available on Facebook and through Podomatic as well.
Podomatic.
So guys, give Irish Nights a listen, well worth it. Lot of Irish recipes and reviews, and
something for everyone.
Yeah, bit of everything for everyone, you know. So give it a listen, and we'll see you on the next show. Hope you like this song.
May the force be with you.
Alright, take it easy, guys.